Hey guys, welcome back. First thing I wanted to talk about today was your homework. So, you guys gave me some really good answers, and I wanted to show you some of the solutions that I have come up with for the overmotivated student, the highly motivated student, the parents, the students in crisis, and office politics. Okay, so first one, let's talk about parents. Okay, so a lot of times the problem with parents is they want you to do impossible things. Okay, they want you to discipline their children, but don't make them sad. Or they want you to do something like, they want you to spend an hour a day with their children, which is completely impossible if you have a big class. So these parents, and like I said, most parents are not like this, but there are crazy parents, and crazy parents are a big problem for teachers. Okay, so here are some strategies I have used for dealing with crazy parents. Number one, be vague. When they ask you to do something, give a vague answer. So, will you spend an hour with my child every day? Oh, well, only, I'll try my best. Okay, that's a very vague answer. Okay, so because it's vague, I didn't say no, but I also didn't say yes. Basically what this means is, dear mother, stop calling me. Okay? Now, being vague is in my experience, the best defense. However, sometimes, I hate to say this, and you shouldn't do it very often, but lie. I don't recommend you do this very often, but sometimes parents will ask you to do impossible things. They will tell you to do impossible things. And if you can't be vague, sometimes you just have to lie. Okay, crisis. Students in crisis. All right, so the number one thing you have to do, many of you mentioned this in your homework, and very good, but the number one thing you have to do is earn trust. Okay? This is a very important skill for a teacher. You have to earn your students' trust if you want to help them. Now, this does not mean that you have to be nice all the time. You can be a strict teacher who is also trustworthy. So it's not just being nice. And you can also be a very nice teacher who's not trustworthy. Okay? So the ways that you show yourself to be trustworthy, in my experience, is you have to be fair. The rules have to apply to all students equally. And this is the second part. This is very, very important. Guys, this is super important. Don't judge. Okay? Your students, especially if you're doing middle school or high school, your students are going to have very disturbing feelings. Okay? They're going through puberty, sachankhi. And that's a difficult time of life. It's very, very stormy. Okay? And if you want your students to trust you, you can't judge them for their feelings. Okay? All of them have scary bad desires. It's just part of puberty. And if you judge them, they will never ever talk to you again. So, don't judge your students, ever. Okay? Now you can tell them to behave differently. You can give them alternatives, but you can't judge them. Okay. Highly motivated student. Okay, this is my favorite problem. I love this problem. Okay, so if you don't know how to handle it, these students will take all of your time. Okay, however, if you do know how to handle it, these kids can be so successful. It's really amazing. So let's say that you have a student who's super interested in art, okay? And he wants, every day he comes to class and he's like, hey teacher, I read about Picasso. Can you tell me what Picasso was doing? Okay, this is a great question. It's wonderful. You should encourage students to ask you questions like this. However, this question can take up all your time. So, what you should do instead, the way you handle highly motivated students, or at least the way I handle highly motivated students, is I give them independent projects. So, for example, if a student comes to me, oh Ben, I'm so interested in art, can you tell me about Picasso? I would say, wonderful, I'm glad that you like Picasso. And then I'd go to my computer and I'd find a book on Picasso. And I'd say, hey buddy, go home today, buy this book and read it. Read it at home. Then you tell me about Picasso. Okay, now, this is wonderful because highly motivated student, he's probably going to go home and buy the book. So, this means that I'm giving him the opportunity to learn, I am increasing his motivation, and I'm also saving my own time. Okay? So, when you have a highly motivated student, this is precious, this is wonderful, this is good. Give them independent projects. Okay? Another example, let's say your student loves science. Okay? Your student's interested in physics. Physics is Muihak, okay? So, let's say your student is really interested in physics. Now, if he comes to class, or she comes to class, and she says, teacher, I want to learn about yo-yo-kak. Okay, yo-yo-kak in English is thermodynamics. Thermodynamics. Okay, so, let's say your student comes to class and she wants to learn about thermodynamics. This is wonderful, this is great, awesome, good for you, kid. However, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. So, what I would do is I would help her find resources. I'd help her find a book. I'd help her find some YouTube videos. And then I would give her an experiment. I'd say, hey, here is a computer. And the computer, if it gets too hot, it doesn't work. So, student, highly motivated student, I want you to design a system that cools this computer more efficiently. Independent projects. Okay. And last one. Office politics. This is the hardest one to do because it's so complicated. There are so many exceptions. What we're going to do for this is, or what I recommend you do is, for this, I recommend you study real politics. Specifically, study power. Power and administration. Okay? And I will teach you how to do this later. Okay, so anyway guys, that was your homework. You guys gave me some really good essays. Thank you very much. This will be the end of part 1. I'm going to take a break and then I'll be right back.